Hi, everybody. My name is Ericka, and I am the founder of the New Hampshire Women Folk Festival. And tonight we are doing our first live interview with Callie Mackenzie. They are performing at our event September 16th, 2023. They just debuted their first album called The Reckoning, and it's an EP worth the listen, and I encourage you to go buy um, anywhere you can stream. Bandcamp, gosh, I think she's on Apple, iTunes, Spotify, anywhere you stream, you can find Callie Mackenzie. Um, so I am going to uh, try to invite her. I've never done this before, so just let's see. Okay, so let's see. We have one viewer. Hopefully, it is Callie, and we can get her on here. Oh, dear Lord. So there's no way for me to see who is watching. If you do put comments in, I can't answer them and talk to the screen at the same time. So bear with me. I keep trying to find Callie, and it's saying that she's not on. So Callie, if you are, oh, okay, cool. Let's see if I can't invite you now that I see you're here. It's saying that you're not there. Oh, Lord, have mercy on me. Can you look to see if you can ask to be invited in, and we'll try it that way? I am doing my best. So, like I said, this is our first time doing a live interview, and clearly this is, oh, goodness me. Let's see. I tried to invite you, and oh, no. Callie, it is not finding you. All right. While I try to figure this out, why it's not letting me invite her, um, I, I don't understand. It's only showing one viewer. It says that you can request to come on with me. So if you can figure that out, I'm going to keep trying to invite you, but you're not showing up. I'm only showing one person, and although we have four people watching. Oh dear Lord. I'm going to try to add you this way. No. I'm so bummed. Uh let's see here. Hi. Okay. Uh I'm only showing two viewers. Callie is not showing up. So if anyone out there can help me figure out how to get Callie onto the interview, that would be great. We're really struggling with our first live. Oh, I see her. I see her. And I'm adding her. Yay. All right. Let's see if she pops up. So Callie is from the Hudson Valley in upstate New York. Here she comes.
Oh, we
Hello.
did it. Did it.
Hello.
Okay. I switched over to my phone, so maybe you can only do it.
Okay, we're going to add her again. Okay. So as this
Okay.
keeps moving in and out,
There we go.
we're
Okay. We've done it. We've done it. Hello.
yay.
It
So
turned the mic
welcome to
to a
our first.
computer. So you have to do it on a phone. So now we know. I'm glad I was a tester. You can't do it from your computer. You have to be on a phone.
Everybody, take note. Again, my name is Ericka. I am the founder of the New Hampshire Women Folk Festival. And when we were thinking about doing this project, Callie was one of the first people that came to my mind. We had met at a retreat, a singer-songwriters retreat, and it was just an early morning at the retreat, and she was sitting out on the porch, and I was having the biggest anxiety attack of my life, and it was like a nice calm moment in this like crazy weekend for me. And she was telling me a little bit about her story, and I hadn't even heard her music yet. I hadn't heard her play. We hadn't even gotten that far into the retreat. But when she shared her story with me about how she came to music, um, it just it filled my heart and got me excited, and it made me want to get to know you more, Callie. And I was telling everyone earlier that you just debuted your first album, and that it's called The Reckoning, and you can stream it anywhere that you can find music: Spotify, Bandcamp, iTunes, Google Play, everywhere. So I encourage you to check out her music. I I don't know much about you, Callie. Um, I don't, but what I do know, I love, and like I said, your story pulled me in, and I'd really love to swing the barn doors open on that one, and have you tell us yourself in your own words how you fell into this path of playing live. Sharing your soul. I always say I'm just singing my diary. Um, so um, how did that begin for you? What was the moment that you knew this was the path that you were going to take?
Huh. Wow. That is such a big question. I'm really excited to be here. I'm glad that we figured this out. I also often say that I feel like I'm just reading my diary over a guitar. Yeah, I mean, I guess, I've always played music, loved music. Played piano as a kid, flute, all those things. And I always found myself picking up guitar in really hard times. And just like on and off. Sometimes it would just collect dust for a while, but it was at the beginning of the pandemic, when things just got a little weird, and I just started writing music again. And like the first song I wrote, sobbing at 4 o'clock in the morning, and it just like spewed out. And I realized I was like, wow, I'm not good at talking about my feelings, but I can sing about my feelings. Um, and so I did a bunch of like little open mics. There was this little arts group in my area that did virtual open mics throughout the pandemic, which was like life changing because it was fun to like gather and watch people. Um, and at that point, I had been one of the founders of a nonprofit organization, which got even more busy during the pandemic. And I was at a point where I was working 90 hours a week, and it was just like miserable. And I realized I was fighting for everyone to have a really good world, and my world was like miserable because I was just working all the time. I never saw my children. I, rarely found joy. And the only thing I found, joy in really was like playing music. And, you know, um, one day, I mean, I was just like, I'm gonna quit my job and I'm gonna play music and I'm gonna figure it out. Like if the world is weird, like let's find joy. And in a world specifically that says that like women and Black women especially should like not feel joy and should always just be taking care of everyone else, it was like, you know what? Actually, it's revolutionary to, take a break, express your feelings, to do things that make you feel joyful. Um, and so, yeah, I quit my job. March 4th of last year was my first year. Was my last day at my job. Um, and I just started, reaching out to places and saying like, "Hey, can I play? Hey, can I play?" And I did a little grassroots fundraiser for my birthday because every year I always raise money for a nonprofit. And I was like, I'm going to raise money to record an album. And I recorded an album and released it in November. And I mean, I was playing a lot of farmers markets and did a couple of, bigger venues, the Colony in Woodstock. I opened up for an amazing musician, did a couple local festivals. But yeah, I just really just jumped in last year and was like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna spend this time. And I just keep writing songs. I guess I'll just like wrap in this moment by saying that like every time I've gone through some experience, whether it's been, falling in love or heartbreak or just the world is burning around me, it's like blah, 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 writing it out on paper. And it's been life saving. Music is literally life saving.
I totally agree, 100%. And I relate to many of the things that you said. And I want to talk about your bio is it's so short and sweet, but it says so much. And you talk about being a Black queer woman, but I also know you're a single mom, and that like, what was the moment? Here I am, the little fly on the wall in the corner of the room, watching you. What was the moment that said, I'm taking the leap of faith? Were you just looking at your kids and it was like, I got to do this? Because for me, when a child gets to witness their mother especially do something so bold and for themselves, which just it is so hard to take care of ourselves.
Yeah.
um, like what with this little fly, this little Ericka fly, what would she see going through the mind of Callie as she decides,
Yeah.
no, this is it. Like, what, I don't know, what was the boiling point? What was the, I understand the joy and it making you feel good, but
Yeah.
giving up your job and your security and having children and um, being a Black queer woman in this
Yeah.
world, and in the middle of a pandemic, girl, you're blowing my mind. Like, come on,
Well,
what would I have seen buzzing around in that room the moment you made that choice?
Well, I mean, I guess I want to say one thing just in honoring and, I don't consider myself a single mom. I co-parent with an incredible human who, does amazing things, and we split our time with the children, and, it's fantastic and wonderful. So,
That's amazing to hear. Thank
I
you.
said that is so important because, like I do know many single mamas who don't have lots of folks to rely on. And so like, shout out to the human that I get to co-parent with. Um, the moment, honestly, so I went on vacation, and at the end of December, I had all this vacation time and never got to use it, and was like, I'm going on vacation. And during that time, I decided to get sober. Um, the pandemic had seen me dive into lots of bottles of wine and more, because, I don't know, didn't have the healthiest coping mechanisms and couldn't go anywhere. And so, I was on 3 weeks of vacation at the end of December. And when I went back to work in January, I realized I can't both be sober and do the work that the world has come to expect of me, and I needed to learn how to hold boundaries and love myself and stop just trying to save the world. Because, I, for a long time, thought that my value was tied up with only caring for other people, and that didn't mean caring for myself. And it was
Absolutely.
literally my second day back at work, and I was like, no, 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 this ain't gonna work. And so, which is hard, especially, again, like one of the founders of this organization, blood, sweat, and tears into it. It formed in my living room, and it was hard to walk away, and I'll say honestly that as I was leaving, I kept saying like, the world is on fire, people are losing their housing, people can't eat, like all these things are happening. Like, who am I to say like, oh, I'm just going to go play music? And then I realized like what has gotten me through all this time, and it's been
Yes.
music. Like you mentioned the songwriting retreat. One of my tattoos is Ryan Montbleu lyrics, and that's the songwriting retreat that we were at, and it says, show me the way to spread my wings, make me wonder how I never trusted these things, from his song Stretch. And that's kind of the point that I was at, of like, what, like, I, I can support people by giving them the music that they need to hear, and I think that no matter, and this is always like weird to say, and it's always mind blowing when folks like come up and say it to me, but like, because I'm completely vulnerable in those moments, folks come up to me and they'll be like, oh my gosh, this song reminded me of this or made me think about this. And oh my gosh, I never, like I didn't know how to express these words. And again,
Yeah.
like so many of my songs I've just like written in tears, like, and, like unable to like really process what I'm thinking until I start, writing it in
Writing
music.
it
And
out.
so that moment was really just like, no, like I want to do something else. And and I think the kids have always seen, they didn't see me much while I was working out, I mean, because it was tough, but like, we've always kind of taken the risk and taken the chance and fight for what you believe in. And you know it was a little terrifying. I think the biggest thing that I was really worried about was like health insurance, because, like we live in this world where, for-profit health insurance. I was like, okay, how are we going to keep doing those things?
Right.
Like,
Right.
but I was like, you know what, we can hustle, and I also make jewelry. And so like, I do handcrafted jewelry, and I was like, we will figure it out. We
Yeah.
will figure it out, and, I think that since, this summer, I mean, I was just looking recently because I'm an organizer, so I have like a spreadsheet for everything. And I went back and, May was my first live, like, paid performance of last year. And I did, 35 shows between May and November last
That's
year,
great.
which is, pretty huge. And people are like, I just keep seeing you everywhere. And I'm like, that's because I'm literally cold calling. I'm emailing
Yeah.
folks like, hey, get to
It
play.
is not
Um,
easy to promote yourself. It is one of the I have a much easier time promoting New Hampshire women folk than I do my own gigs and shows. I totally relate to that.
yeah.
But I want to step back because you're talking about writing, and then the people that experience it. And usually in my experience, when I write a song, it's a resolution to something that's going on in my life.
Yeah.
And I don't even realize sometimes until it's written. So I totally relate to that.
Yeah.
But when when you have when for me, when I have something in mind and it comes out in song and someone comes up and has a completely different perspective and how it touched them, and it grows the story, it grows the song takes on its own life. It is one of the most honoring, like humbling experiences, and I totally relate to that. And it's taken me years to be able to accept those
Mhm.
compliments and the thank yous, because for me, like we said before, this is my diary and you're
Yeah.
thanking me, but um that let's round that back to what New Hampshire women folk is all about. um Performers like yourself sharing their soul on a stage. It's not about how big your name is, how many likes you have on Facebook,
Mhm.
how many shows you've done, and who you've opened up for. But it's about spreading your message
Mhm.
for that audience to receive.
Yeah.
And so then they can give it right back
Yeah.
to you. We are so excited for you to be on our stage, and and share your songs. We did a little North Country Radio slot the other day, and the guy who runs this show, his name's Jerry, he freaking loved you so much. He went on and on. I think he ended up playing three of your songs in the whole segment talking about New Hampshire women folk, and it was just that is what it's about. You you know we want to give that platform to exactly who you are, and give you the space to feel free to be exactly who you are. So we are excited. I want to mention to everybody that I will put links to Callie's Facebook page, her Instagram, and links to where you can find her music. And I please encourage you to like her page, to like her Instagram, because likes are more important than you think. Even though I don't think they should be, they really are. And they do help you expand where you can get gigs. So please, when I put those links up, follow them, like her page, and go buy her music. The album is called The Reckoning. Callie, thank you for opening up and sharing with us a little bit about who you are. If you are thinking about doing advertising sponsorships and you would like to sponsor Callie as the artist for the day, please get in touch, and we'll be happy to sign you up and get that taken care of. Any last words and thoughts that you would like to say about joining the New Hampshire women folk community?
Yeah. I'm really excited because, this will be the first time I'm playing in New Hampshire, and it feels really exciting to me, and it seems like an amazing cause. And I'm excited to hear, all these other musicians, and hope that we can all collab in some way, because it really is about like just coming together and like making good music. And like, yeah, I think I'll just say quickly, when we were at the songwriting retreat, I remember Ryan saying that, the songs are only ours for a few minutes. Then we put them out in the world and they're everybody else's.
That's right.
And that's the beauty of it, that there are songs that, I wrote that I didn't want to play because I just felt too close to. And the moment I started playing, that's the song that everyone requests, and it's like, wow, like this. And I was like, all right, I guess I'm going to keep playing this one then. So it's like, it's a beautiful thing to just be able to get up there and like, express my feelings. And anyone who is out there that is like, I'm not a real musician, you are a real musician if you say you are a musician. Absolutely. And just play music, because that's what makes you a real musician.
And
so I'm really
I just want
to get up there.
Yeah. We're excited to have you, and I hope that as you make connections with other women from the East Coast, that gig sharing starts to happen, and you go to Connecticut and do gigs there and stay with an artist that you might meet, and that they then come to New York and do some gigs in your area. We have big hopes and dreams for the community building. And I just want to remind everyone that being a musician is a dream, and until you take the first step to make the dream happen and to take the gigs and to cold call all the places and sell yourself, it's only a dream. But once you take the action, all the doors start to open. And that's how New Hampshire women folk started. It was a little dream. We took steps forward, and all of these doors have opened. And now we have performers from all over the East Coast coming to New Hampshire to play in the White Mountains on a beautiful stage together. Callie, thank you again for joining us for our first Facebook Live. Thanks to anyone who hung in there while we figured it out.
We did it. Thank you for all you're doing. I'm really excited.
We're so excited to have you, and we will talk to you soon. I will put Callie's links up as soon as I figure out how. So thanks for joining us, everybody. Have a good night.
Bye.
Thank you. Okay.